Hey, it's Scott Weiss with Lessons on Leaving, your complete guide to funerals. I'm here again today with a message for you about green or natural funerals, green or natural burials. What is a green or natural burial? Green or natural burial is not going to include any embalming. It's not going to include a metal casket. It has to be a biodegradable container that the person would be in, the body. It could be a shroud, as little as just a blanket like we used to in the old days. Or it could be a wicker basket or even a pine box. But no metal, no embalming fluids, no chemicals, and it will go into the ground, basically how we buried our family members for thousands of years before the current funeral system came into being. I watched a movie, actually I watched two movies about green burials in the last 24 hours. One I want to tell you about, do a little movie review here, is a movie called A Will for the Woods. And it's a 90-minute movie which documents the life of a man named Clark Wang, who is diagnosed with lymphoma. He has a very, very strong desire to be buried in a natural environment, to allow his body to go back into the dust, the dirt where it came from. He wants to, he feels very strong about it. It's a very moving movie. It's a very touching movie. He actually does pass away. The movie was filmed from 2009 to about 2000. It was released in 2014, so they filmed it over 5 years. I think they had over 300 hours of video that they had to get down to 90 minutes. It's very sad. He does pass away, but it's a very strong, strong statement for a natural burial. I heard about green burials and natural burials about 4 years ago, and immediately knew that's what I wanted to do. Just whether your motivation is to decrease carbon emissions, or whether you just want to do things naturally, whatever your view is that, to me, natural things always make more sense. As a gardener, I love to plant, I love to do heirloom gardening, I love to get out there and have my hands in the dirt. And one thing I want you to observe in nature, there's no dirt in nature that is uncovered. When you just look in natural environments, the only ground we see uncovered is desert. But all soil is covered. So what I mean, if you're a gardener, you want to cover that with mulch, or you want to cover that with wood chips or leaves, because that is what occurs in the natural environment. And so when we look at burials, what do we do? What do we do naturally before our so-called technology and advancements came into being? Let's go back to do things naturally. I want to tell you about a little research that was done. When asked ladies that were 50 years old and over who had planned a funeral, 49%, that's right, 50% of 50-year-old ladies and above did not know that you could have a funeral without embalming. Over 80% of that same demographic did not know or ever heard of a green burial. And when people are presented with the opportunity to have a green burial, it's amazing how many receive that, even over cremation, because cremation does create carbon emissions. As a matter of fact, one cremation is equal to about 26 gallons of gasoline being burned. So there are emissions that go up into the atmosphere and environment that people are concerned about. So the Green Burial Council is an organization established in 1996, and they have a strict set of guidelines that they established. A group of like-minded people, some funeral directors, some environmentalists, some people just concerned about death care, kind of like me, got together and they started this organization, and they now certify cemeteries as green cemeteries by the Green Burial Council. There's over 300 companies that are certified by this organization as well. And there's only about 50 cemeteries throughout the United States, but the number is growing, and more people are becoming interested in it. So there's a great movement out there to go back to things that are natural, and guess what? It costs a whole lot less money. I'll continue to talk about these in the future as I discuss different subjects, but just you to know, there are movies, there's documentaries, there are people moving toward the natural things. There are even ways to embalm people with all organic and natural chemical, well, I don't know if they're chemicals, but substances. So there can be an embalming that is approved to go into a green cemetery, but most people that would choose a green cemetery would not choose embalming. So I just want to give you a short little message. My last message went over 7 minutes. I'm trying to keep them shorter. Hey, I did sign up this week for a Twitter account. Please go find me on Twitter, Lessons on Leaving on Twitter. Remember to subscribe to the website, lessonsonleaving.com. Subscribe to YouTube. But what I want to do, the more people that I can get to subscribe to my newsletter, the more people that I'm going to be able to help. So again, lessonsonleaving.com. There's a pop-up block that comes on the home page, or you can go to the About page or the blog page, sign up on the right-hand column. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, give me some interaction. If you would like to know if there's a green cemetery in your area, send me a short email or ask on the Ask a Question part on my website, or email me, scott@lessonsonleaving.com. I'll get back to you with the closest green cemetery in your area that has the Green Burial Council certification. So again, Scott, what are you doing watching movies on green burials and documents on death? You don't have anything better to do with your time? I love it. It's my passion. It's my desire to learn. So I'm going to learn these kind of things so you don't have to. I'll pass this information on to you. So stay tuned till we see you next time. Thanks.